Hey YouTube, so I'm going to be responding to Nicole Arbour's Dear Fat People video. I'm a little late to the party on this one, but I think I've got some useful insights to it. So yeah, her video has pissed off an awful lot of people. She's also got quite a few supporters as well. I'm taking more of a middle road on this one. I think the people who are campaigning to get her shut down and trying to ruin her career are despicable little fucking cunts. Trying to shut someone down because they made a few jokes you didn't like. You know, who the fuck do you think you are? But with that being said, I think Nicole did make quite a few mistakes in her video, which I'm going to address in this one. And yeah, I'm fully aware that her video was comedy, and if it was just pure comedy without any kind of message behind it, I'd be moving on at this point. You know, if you don't like her jokes, then don't watch her. It's as simple as that. But when you're trying to promote a serious message at the same time, yeah, you do have to be conscious about how your message comes across. I've seen this mistake made by people like Vegan Games and Russell Brand. A lot of their supporters will treat them like they're these amazing philosophers and, you know, look at all these great things they've said. But when you call them out on the bullshit they say, all of a sudden, oh, it's just comedy, it's just satire, and you know, unless you're a very, very skilled comedian who's able to make it extremely obvious to your audience which bits you actually mean and which bits you are just purely joking about, then that simply doesn't work. And if Nicole was joking about a lot of these points, she doesn't make it very obvious. You know, people are taking these bits serious, and those failings are on her as a comedian. So with that out the way, let's get on with it.
You don't know if this is hairspray or semen.
Dear fat people.
Some people are already really mad at this video. What are you gonna do, fat people? What are you gonna do? Wait, are you gonna chase me? Really? You're gonna chase me? It's gonna be like fucking Frankenstein. I can get away from you by walking at a reasonable pace.
If you want the serious part of your message to actually get across, the worst thing you can do is intentionally set out to piss people off as much as you can in the very first seconds of your video, and then proceed to just mock for 5 minutes straight before actually getting to it.
Fat shaming is not a thing. Fat people made that up. That's the race card with no race.
Yeah, but I couldn't fit into a store. That's discrimination.
No. That means you're too fat and you should stop eating.
Everybody just needs to make more sense.
There's a race card, there's a disability card, there's even a gay card, because gay people are discriminated against. Wrongfully so. The gay card's covered in glitter. It's fucking magical. Are you gonna tell the doctor that they're being mean and fat shaming you when they say you have fucking heart disease?
If she's just talking about your stereotypical Tumblrite, I'd completely agree with her there. So yeah, there certainly are fat people who see discrimination at every turn, just as there's black people, just as there's women, just as there's men, and just as there's gay people who do exactly the same fucking thing. But yeah, just because there's examples where the fat shaming is a load of bullshit doesn't mean that fat shaming doesn't exist at all. I've seen people hurl abuse at fat people just for walking down the street, and that I would consider fat shaming, and the people who do that are massive cunts, and I'd call them out if I saw them doing that.
I'm not talking about people who have a little bit of cushion for the pushing, and if there's people watching this with a specific health condition, this is not aimed at you. I'm talking about the 35% of North Americans who are obese. That means you are so fat, you are affecting your own health.
As somebody who's dating and training a disabled athlete myself, I'd actually be somewhat harsher than Nicole in this section. So yeah, obviously, plenty of medical issues make it a lot harder to lose weight, but they do not make it impossible. So if you're unhappy with the way you look, or your weight is exacerbating the medical problems which you do have, or creating new ones, you can do something about it if you put your mind to it. If you take the time to learn about proper nutrition and put the effort into eating well, and focus on the exercise which you can do, you can see some very good results, and for an awful lot of these medical problems, your doctor can also help you as well.
Big boned isn't a thing. How stupid do I look? Don't answer that. There are no fucking skeletons that look like the Michelin Man. Fat shaming. Who came up with that? That's fucking brilliant. Yes, shame people who have bad habits until they fucking stop. Fat shaming. If we offend you so much that you lose weight, I'm okay with that. You are killing yourself. Yeah, I'll sleep at night. Maybe.
For the whole big bone thing, I completely agree with you there. So here's two examples. Fat woman and thin woman skeleton look basically exactly the same. If anything, the fat woman's skeleton's smaller. Plenty more examples like that. You know, then we've got Ziz's transformation from being an extreme exomorph into somebody who's a very muscular mesomorph. And yeah, he did take steroids, but steroids don't change the shape of your bones considerably. So yeah, the whole body types thing is completely bullshit. I've seen loads and loads of extreme transformations from people who are willing to put in the hard work. And I think that it's a self-limiting belief for the people who believe in it. When someone brings it up to me, I don't stand for it. They're either ignorant or they're trying to insult my intelligence. So as for the whole shaming thing to get people to do what you want, it simply doesn't really work very well. You know, the government, UK government, tried that with smoking. They put pictures of diseased organs on it and warnings on every pack, so smokers see that every time they pick up the pack. Had virtually no impact. The only thing which really impacted smoking rates is these e-cigarettes. You know, they have worked very well, and it's a free market, a free market solution, which hasn't been from shame or anything like that, and it's worked really well. You mentioned that you're a shopaholic in your video. How the fuck would you like it if every time you walked out of a clothing store, I started shouting about how you're wasting money and how you're a stupid, dumb fucking bimbo who only cares about fashion and that kind of thing? I imagine you wouldn't stand for it. If anything, you'd probably shop more just to piss me off. So yeah, those kind of shaming tactics don't work. You know, if you're doing it to a friend, they're just gonna not see you. And I think it does put off a lot of people from getting into fitness. You know, one of the things I hear most often from people making excuses not to go to the gym, it's, oh, well, you know, I'm so out of shape and people are going to be looking at me and I'm going to feel embarrassed and they're going to be judging me. And yeah, for the most part, it's fucking bullshit. You know, people who are actually in shape are focusing way too much on their own workout to give a fuck what you look like. You know, if somebody comes into the gym who weighs 400 pounds and can't even bench the bar, I'm not going to judge them for that. Everybody has to start somewhere. I'll judge them if they're doing really stupid shit. I'll try and offer them advice, and you know, maybe I'll have a laugh at them if they decide to not take the advice and not put the effort and that kind of thing in. But if somebody's genuinely going in to get results and they're massively out of shape, that's fantastic. We all have to start somewhere, and the gym environments are nowhere near as judgmental as people seem to think.
Fat people parking spots should be at the back of the mall parking lot. Walk to the doors and burn some calories.
I don't know about America, but in England we don't have fat people parking spots. We've got disabled parking spots, and in some cases extreme obesity can be a disability, but forcing them to walk that extra distance every time is probably a bad idea. When you're massively overweight, you're going to be more prone to injury, and if you twist your ankle on the way to the shop, then that's only going to push you further away from actually being able to lose some weight. So I think it should be left down to the individual.
You smarty. Oh my god, the hashtags. Body positive. If you want to be positive to your body, work out and eat well. That's being positive to your body. You really think if enough of you hashtag something bad for you, it makes it okay? Hashtag meth love.
Hashtag team smokers.
Everybody use the hashtag. It'll unplug our arteries.
I actually really strongly agree with that. You can't say, you're body positive as a morbidly obese person when you're making no effort to change it. I mean, that's like going, I'm so positive about animals, love them so much. It clearly doesn't fucking work. It's such a load of bullshit.
Plus size, plus size. Jesus! I was at the airport not too long ago, and I had to wait in one of those lines that's like... As I get to the front of the line, a family comes to the front and gets to bud me. Fattest, most obese, I'm talking TLC special fat. You're a meth shamer. They got to go to the front of the line because they were complaining that their knees hurt too much to stand in it. Oh, I just came an hour early like I was supposed to. But you overeat, let me help you. And they complain, and they smell like sausages, and I don't even think they ate sausages, that's just their aroma. They were so fat that they're that standing sweat fat. Crisco was coming out of their pores like a fucking Play-Doh fun factory. Too soon, because you needed to have a Coke plus fries.
I just left that bit in to kind of illustrate my point that the people who really do need help and could actually do with some advice and hear the serious message in this video are just going to be turned off before they even get to it.
Now I get on the plane, I find my lovely seat, I'm sitting in the aisle, and then a stewardess walks up to me. Hi ma'am, I hate to ask, but we've got a disabled passenger. Would you mind switching seats? And of course, because I'm not an asshole, I'm like, oh my god, of course, yes. Oh look, it's Fat Family, and Jabba the Sun sits right beside me. I just lost my shit. His fat was on my lap. It was actually on my lap. I took the handle, I squished it down, and I said, my seat, your seat. I actually took his fat, and I pushed it into his seat, and I held it. He was fine. He was just fat.
If he was really as big as you say, maybe he did actually have some genuine health problems to go along with it. Maybe he's seriously risking twisting an ankle or pulling his knee or hip or something like that if he has to walk further than he has to. And maybe he'd already lost 100 pounds. Maybe he already was making some effort. You can't tell that just from some snapshot of seeing him. And if moving is that much of an issue for you, I really have to wonder, do you actually work out or are you just a fan of puking?
But I'm really fucking selfish, and I want to keep you around. And I'm not saying all this to be an asshole, I'm saying this because your friends should be saying it to you.
You might not think you're an arsehole, but that doesn't change the fact that you're coming across as a bit of a fucking arsehole.
Think of me as one of your ride or dies. If you're dating a douchebag, and you come to me all like, my boyfriend's being a douchebag, that's because you're dating a douchebag. But what do I do? Get rid of the douche.
Yeah, but in this video, you're not being the person who gives honest advice when asked. You're being the person who'll constantly have a go at your friend because they're dating someone you don't like, just calling them an asshole, calling them a piece of shit, telling them to get rid of them. That's a completely different fucking thing.
The truth is, I will actually love you no matter what, but I really, really hope this bomb of truth exploding into your face will act as shrapnel that seeps into your soul, makes you want to be healthier so that we can enjoy you as human beings longer on this planet.
And now we've heard what Nicole has to say, I'd like to share some final thoughts of my own. So, if you are genuinely happy with yourself, and you understand the risks of your lifestyle, and you aren't hurting anyone else, you are under no obligation to change. But also, nobody else is under any obligation to change their own life to suit yours. Unfortunately, however, this isn't the message I see being pushed by the fat acceptance movement. They want other people and businesses to change to accommodate them. According to them, shops must stock their size, and people who don't date them because of their size are bigots. They also push a very fatalistic viewpoint on weight, that their genetics or circumstances somehow make it impossible for them to lose their weight, and that they are always victims, and this I see as being hugely disempowering. If you aren't happy with your health or weight, you don't have to look like that. You can do something about it if you put your mind to it. Now, it's certainly very difficult, and I fully appreciate the struggle. And yeah, there's a lot of very, very bad information out there about exercise and nutrition, and this information, it seems, is the easiest to find. And yeah, this does make it even harder. But there is good information out there if you take the time to look for it. Learn about nutrition, learn about exercise, and put in the effort consistently, and you can achieve a healthy, athletic body. Also, avoid the quick fixes. They are nearly always scams and often will put your progress even further back long term. So take your time to learn about the nutrition and the science. If running or cycling isn't your cup of tea, find a sport which you enjoy. There's plenty to choose from out there. And don't let setbacks get you down. It's a marathon, not a sprint. And finally, don't let the negativity of others hinder your progress. So until next time, take care of yourself and each other.